how do you take what you learned and you show up at UW and you're like, hey, I want to bring meditation to your athletes. How do you sell that to the administration of the college, of the university?
Yeah, so that's a really interesting question. And, my intention was never to bring it into Wisconsin athletics. I had no intention of selling this to anybody. In fact, what had happened is there was a guy who had played football at the University of Wisconsin and played football in the NFL. Chris Borland is his name. And after Chris retired from the NFL, he wanted to do something to benefit other guys who had played the game. So he connected with us at the Center for Healthy Minds. Long story short, Chris and I created an 8-week pilot for a group of retired NFL guys. And at that point, it hadn't been done as far as I know. And it was really a question of like, what's going to happen when we get these 17 retired NFL guys in a room and try to teach them to meditate? Will they think it's a bunch of hippy dippy woo woo like,
right, John?
Yeah.
Sorry, Chad. Sorry.
No, I mean, the environment, right? And one of the things that's really important to me is I'm not interested in kind of corrupting these practices to make them something that they're not, to make it easier than it actually is. The practice is what it is. The path is what it is. How we teach it can meet people where they're at, and that's where skillful teaching comes into question. So after we did that 8-week pilot with these retired NFL guys, some of them were on staff at the University of Wisconsin. One was head strength coach for football. One was connected with the strength coach for basketball, some administrative folks. And they were the ones that said, hey, we think our student athletes could benefit from this. Would you be interested in coming in and sharing some of it? Another way to say that, and that's in more like meditation language, is that's compassion. They experienced the benefits of practice. Their suffering was reduced. Their well-being was increased, and they wanted to share that with other people. So then we started to pilot in small ways with a couple of teams where there's some internal champions. They benefited, and then the work kind of grew over a couple of years that way.
Nice.
I think that's been the path for all of us in some ways. Because John, you told your story like numerous times about, how you laughed in your instructor's face when he talked about meditation and mindfulness as a cure for the problems you were having. I've been in the same boat. I just finished a massive Vipassana meditation retreat. And in the retreat, I'm like, I need to go teach more meditation in New York City. Like, it's just like, you just naturally want to, because of the health that it brings to the body and the mind and all your relationships, you just want to create more of that in the world, I feel. And then to bring it to athletes, I think is absolutely, is crucial. Like, how is it different, teaching meditation to athletes, or how do you, is there a different method you teach, or is it onboarding them that's really required? Like, what are kind of struggles to really get the buy-in from athletes, if you will? And then what's the process you take them through?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, that's a huge question, that like, there's so many cool ways I think like that, to answer that question. But one is really kind of like, how is this framed for athletes? How does this kind of like make sense to them? So the way I talk about the work, as you mentioned in the intro, is strength and conditioning for the mind. And of course, no athlete would ever go out into their, arena of competition without training their body, yet they do it all the time with the mind. We end up in mental training paradox where, in sport and in life, we talk about the importance of the mental game, yet we're not actually setting aside time to train for it. So we're kind of flipping that. We're actually setting aside time to train for it. And then so kind of like next level down from there, I remember one of the first times I walked into the Wisconsin football weight room. I go up to one of the coaches, one of the strength coaches, and he looks like one of these Under Armour mannequins, like come to life. I didn't know humans had shoulders that big, right? So I say, hey, coach, like, what do you do around here? And he's, like, my job is just to get guys bigger, faster, stronger. And of course, I've seen that. We've all seen that, like in every weight room, everywhere, some version of that. And I thought, like, well, what's the corollary to what I'm up to? And it occurred to me that what I'm interested in is training folks to have minds that are more focused, more resilient, and be better teammates. And not just talk about it, but actually train for it. And there's good science in all of those areas and good trainings in all of those areas that can show up to impact these athletes, both in the performance realm, but also in the well-being realm. And also those, of course, are just kind of not two different things. It's one mind that's involved in all aspects of it.